Meanwhile, the world's biggest tech companies are teaming up to take on artificial intelligence. This week, Google, Facebook, Amazon, IBM, DeepMind, and Microsoft announced they formed the Partnership on Artificial Intelligence to Benefit People and Society. We need an anagram for that. CNET editor Brian Tong joins us now from San Francisco to break this down for us. What's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing, Vlad?
All right, so how cool is this?
Well, what's really happening is we are starting to see AI around us everywhere. And, you know, we used to only see it in the movies. You see it in things like, let's go even as far back as, I don't know, Terminator 2, before Terminator, Short Circuit, all of those movies, right? That was artificial intelligence in the movies, right? Short Circuit, yeah, in the movies, right? But now we're talking about artificial intelligence that we've seen in computers, in our phones. And as these devices are getting smarter and doing more things and learning from us, this kind of group and partnership, you almost call it like a consortium of all these big powerhouse companies that are involved in artificial intelligence, need to come up with some, at least almost like a board that oversees what the future of this is, how this can be ethical, how can this aid us economically, how can it just be, I guess, guided in the right way instead of going in all these different places with some people doing AI, you know, maybe not for the best reasons. They're trying to just kind of corral this because this is an exploding space.
So any specifics about what they're going to work on or logistics or how they're going to collaborate?
Well, I think one thing is people don't necessarily, you say artificial intelligence and someone might be like, well, what does that really mean? And there's a lot of words that are thrown around like deep learning and neural networks. But to really kind of condense it and make it easy to understand, you know, these things called neural networks are learning from you and me. And basically, I would just think of it as like a software program that acts like our brain, but it needs information to process it. So we have artificial intelligence that can recognize what dogs look like from a wolf. And how does that happen? It is fed hundreds of thousands of pictures, and then this software learns the subtle things, like first a general shape of a dog versus a cat, categorizes as a dog, then looks at subtle things like, you know, a longer nose, sharp teeth, and then can make that distinction. But it requires lots of information, lots of computer processing, and we're finally at that point where machines can do all this stuff for us and really see how we see as humans, because really the ultimate computer is right up here, man.
That's for sure. So, although my mother would disagree with you on that when it comes to me, but I'm wondering.
Mine's not the best. Mine's not the best either.
There's some notable absences, including Apple. Why aren't they part of it?
Look, we have known this for years. Apple likes to do their own thing, right? The other thing about it is that, quite honestly, Apple is not necessarily on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence. We've seen IBM with what people might know as Watson. That machine, as far back as like, I think it was 2011, beat the two best Jeopardy champions straight up. And it was purely a machine. We have Google that has their own kind of platform called DeepMind that was able to beat the world champion in a game of Go. And so Apple, if you even talk about just from a voice recognition standpoint, they're not even close when it comes to being at the top. We have Google's great voice recognition, Amazon's Echo device. Apple's trailing behind, and although Apple's a big name, they are not anywhere, you know, in the upper tier of you know, companies that are working with artificial intelligence. So they want to do their own thing. That's fine. They like to be private, but here this is a place where they don't even hold any power in that space. So it's almost like all right, you're not really in this game.
Yeah, it's interesting.